what happened to, I will start from the end. What happened to Israel is they were so fascinated by the lights, meaning by the great sparks that were sort of coming free from Egypt. So they actually did not want to leave the other side of the Red Sea. Okay, because they did not want to part from that revelation, that state in themselves. But this state is not something that human earned. It's something, it's always first impregnation, which is called first ibur, is always from above. It means till now, it would be different in a desert, which is second impregnation, because you could see that the desert in itself is a womb of preparation, but it's a womb of preparation that comes from the request and the need of the lower because of the memory of the revelation on what is called on the sea. Okay. So there's no way that someone can stay in the birth canal, but we can become a silent birth. But so this is a very tense moment. This is why we're so used to it, we don't see the miracle that actually belongs to it. Moving from a state of, one can say it's a parasitical, it's a state of a parasite, and in a womb. It means that whatever the mother is eating, the baby or not yet baby, the form is eating is completely living upon that which he grows in, and going out is actually going to stand on its own, to breathe on its own. It's okay. There is a dependency, but the dependency has different purpose, and the purpose is to be able to stand not separate, not on your own in terms of separate, but on your own in terms of how to attain that which you need through the service of others. Okay, so this is one thing that, because we're so, first it happens so fast, we don't see the as though, although the Zohar is really trying to, I would say, push our head into seeing it by talking about, as I said, Chavakuk, and talking about Yonah, to see that we are reluctant or almost unable to go through this passage. And of course, going through this passage, first, in corporality, you have one impregnation. In spirituality, you have two. It's not that the first one is counted. You have to go through two. Actually, you're going through three, but both of them are to do with, one, the first impregnation is to do in spirituality, has to do with the state of humanity. And the other one is with the consciousness of humanity. So the state, the first impregnation calls consciousness, spiritual consciousness, and then the choice whether to activate it or not, or to follow it or not. Okay, so it coincides with a very particular meeting point, which is called in Hebrew, Tu Bishvat, meaning 15th of Shvat, of that month, which has in it the ability to turn. Yeah, it's the ability to recognize that something higher, very high, speaks about the face of Erech Anpin, or the world of Atzilut, is extending itself like a rod, extending itself to humanity. This is the revelation that everyone saw on the sea. This is where the phrase is coming, that a maid saw on the sea what Yechezkel, the prophet, could not see. Okay, that kind of a revelation. So it means it's a very fearful state, but because it's a passage, you're able to see how the higher structure is acting upon you, and it's a revelation of the world of Tikkun. The world of Tikkun is called Atzilut. Okay, and a very particular face of it or state of it, which is called Mazla, or meaning it's a structure that everything that has to do with reformation hang from it. Okay, so this. So if you come out of it at this meeting point of the full moon, which is the 15th of the month, which means a full memory and an extension of light, or revelation of light, as it is revealed upon Malchut, then a person can decide to be what is offered. What is offered is said, because Adam, it's a full sentence, Ki Adam, it's a sadeh, meaning because Adam is a field tree, the field's tree, or a tree of the field. A tree is a connective structure between heaven and earth. Okay. And field is a name of Malchut that can be worked out, meaning that you can plow it and you can put seeds in it, and it can give results or produce. So actually what he's saying, that the structure that we called Adam, which has to do with the desire to resemble the values, character, qualities of whatever is God, or godly qualities, it's a self-promise. So it has to do, usually the word or the verb that comes from Adam, you don't have it in English, but in Hebrew, is to become similar to, or to be able to have the imagination of the higher, and it's actually a virtue of a prophet. Mm-hmm. So Adam has to do with the quality of prophecy. What can Adam prophesize? He can prophesize or give some reality to the world to come, meaning to the will of the Creator to bestow good, meaning a new reality or to extend light to the lowest point of reality. And this is why part of the tradition of this holiday is eating fruits, but eating fruits only from the land of Israel, meaning we eat fruits, the fruit of that grew in the world of Atzilut. And they divide themselves into four categories, actually. The one that we have to peel out in order to eat, the one that you eat, but there is sort of the seed inside, which you can't eat. Okay, so one is an outer externality that you have to move out, and one is the internality that you need to clear out, and one, like a fig, that you eat fully, inside out. Okay, so it actually speaks about the three worlds of Asiya, Yetzira, and Bria, and Bria, or yes, in relation to, you can say, the vessel that can portray the distance or the closeness to the fruit of reformation that Atzilut is bestowing or trying to bestow upon us. Okay. So this is the relation to Adam, and so it suggests that Adam, meaning the spirit and the vehicle that carries it, men or women, should be a connected field that bears fruit, meaning that bears the completion of the plan of the Creator. Okay, so it's coming together with reading this. So it's almost saying that when we read this portion, we are willing to go through the passage of death of our opinions and perception in order to be born into the possibility of giving some fruits, or actually bearing true fruits, because actually the trademark of the other side is that it does not bring fruits. It does not bear fruits. It's barren. Okay. And so this is the meeting point. So we need to go through the process of test and tribulation of our honesty, of the honesty of our belief. Okay. In order to be able to pass into a consciousness that will actually want it, that will actually desire it. Is it clear what I'm saying? Yeah.
So there's three deaths. There's a first death going into Egypt. There's a second death going out of Egypt into the desert. And there's a third death going from the desert into Israel, or becoming Israel.
No. Third death happens when Torah is being given.
In the desert.
Yeah, because what it means death. Okay, let's speak about it in spiritual terms. Death means is the ascent of the light, meaning that the vessel cannot actually stand the light. So it happens twice. It happens on the sea, and there is something that gives life back to Israel in order to come to the point of needing Torah. We have a small test on the way, which is called the bitter water on the way, because when they're coming out of that revelation, a huge revelation, which is the revelation for all humanity. We're just we read those who could account for their witnessing. Okay, this is Torah. So they're coming thirsty. When they move away from the huge, great, it's very difficult to live or to exist after this in a mundane way. You are thirsty. You desire to. You don't want to part from it. Okay, so everything that they taste in their existence seems to them bitter. So what actually is thrown to the water to sweeten it? It's a tree. A tree is being thrown into the water, and it turns it into, so they can actually get some, like something is giving them a breath of life. Yeah. And then they could see, and then they come to Elima, meaning they could see again. But in the world, they can see, it's like an oasis. They can see the possibility of future world to come. Okay? Then they are losing it because they need actually to be reformed again. And the reformation to prepare them to actually be able to withstand giving Torah is a different food, which is called the manna. They don't know what it is. Actually, the name of it comes from the Hebrew, half Hebrew, half Aramaic, which is manhu. What is it? So man is a name of it's. What is it? Okay. So, what is it? Now let's put it with a question mark. What is it that we need? We see that it's a different laws of belief. It's the biggest test of belief is the manna, because you cannot, like in our corporal life, you cannot hoard, you cannot save, you cannot keep for tomorrow. This actually speaks very deeply about a spiritual state. You cannot save for tomorrow.
There's no label on the supermarket. You don't know what
there
it is.
Isn't.
Yeah.
There's no, you need always to reconnect to the root, to reconnect to the source. Because otherwise it becomes warm, full of worms and all sort of it becomes the epitome of death, meaning it's a very particular worm that comes out when the flesh is rotten. This is the description. So we're getting actually rules of how to be with spirituality. So what we study and prayed for today, we cannot save it. This is why we deposit it. Otherwise, in us, it becomes not only spoiled, it becomes something really disgusting. I don't want to go into details. Yeah, it becomes maggots. Maggots, what it's called.
Is there a true choice? Because I mean, I've heard the Kabbalah talking about the action of tikkun, but it seems like already before it's clear who will accept the choice of eating the manna or going to the sea.
No,
and the other ones don't leave Egypt. The other ones are killed on the way. The other ones.
Well, those who didn't leave Egypt will disappear from the stage of reformation of humanity anyhow. Those who are in, actually, for themselves, they learn from making mistakes, making the wrong choice. They try to keep it for tomorrow. How do we know?
To make the mistake.
Yeah. So there is mistakes, and mistakes actually the fall or mistake shows, or the mistake as a whole shows, but all mistakes show that the distance from belief.
Left.
Why do I actually keep for tomorrow? Because I don't trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust that I'll get what I need. I don't trust the system. I don't trust the higher. And more than that, it's not only a question of trust of the higher or trust of the ecology. I don't want to trust because I want to control. And if I keep for myself, I have some sort of an illusion that I have control over my commodities, okay, over what I truly need. Okay.
It's a part of Egypt that went along.
Yes, and it's part that need to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the need that we did not, just going out of Egypt, we did not get rid of many things that actually now, at least we can see from what that separates us from, the cost of it, and to choose. Okay? So you can say that reformation as a whole, as a process, is not a choice. Mm-hmm. Being an active part of it, mm-hmm. which is very, it's the participation in it cause a different way of mediation, a different way of healing, and a different way of acquiring a position of Adam. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a gift that was given us at the end of creation in the sixth day, when he said the Creator sort of completed his act of creation, and it is clearly said that he left it to be completed, meaning that is what he left for human consciousness to do.